Reb Zusha, total devotion. Here's the story. Reb Zusha told the Rebbe once that he has a relative by the name of, a distant relative, the very famous, wealthy English Jew, Mr. Wolfson. Very, very wealthy man. His name is on many synagogues around the world, and particularly in Israel. So he says it's his distant relative. And the Rebbe says to him that he should create a connection with him. Hearing such words, he began to develop a connection, a relationship with Mr. Wolfson. They became very close. And from this connection, they grew that Mr. Wolfson built the house of Shazar in Kfar Chabad, the shul in Nachla, and many other Chabad institutions in Israel that bear his name. Now, this Gevir, I forgot his first name, Mr. Wolfson, he's since passed on. So he knew how Reb Zusha lived financially, extremely modestly, to put it mildly, and he wanted to help him personally. He knew that Reb Zusha would never take a handout, never take a donation. So in his very wise and sensitive way, he said as follows. He says, Zusha, this is after years of getting to know him. He says, you're traveling constantly throughout Israel because of your work for Chabad. He was the Rebbe's eyes. He would inspect and write and send a full report. The king has to know everything. I'm not quoting Wolfson, but he would say this, the king has to know everything. He would write everything. And they all knew, Zusha writes as it is. So since you're traveling everywhere, and Mr. Wolfson has built shuls throughout Israel, so he says, I want to appoint you, I want to engage you to see, visit the shuls, and to tell me what requires fixing, etc., and I'll pay you for this work of inspecting my institutions in Israel. Indicating you would get a decent salary and won't have to live, he says, b'tzimtzum, as he lives till now. So Rabbi Zusha said to him that he's have to think about it, thank you very much. And then a few days later he gave him some answer, a diplomatic answer that said that it just doesn't work out for him and didn't explain. So Rabbi Mendel Gluchovsky says, I heard this story from him. He was close to him again, he was his mashpia. He said, why did you, this is just a wonderful update, you're on the way anyway, what's wrong? And in what you're doing, he needs to hear, and it's gain for everybody. Said Reb Zusha, I thought to myself, if I accept this proposal, then there'll be something in my life, on my bread, the bread on my table, it's not connected directly to being a chassid Rebbe Shliach. And this I'm not going to accept. Such a thing is not shaykh. Kediboy. That he's totally devoted, and the morsel that goes into his mouth is because he's a soldier on the front provided by the king, not from any, no matter how legitimate, other source. That was the Reb Zusha. Mind you, I should tell you that there were shluchim that asked about creating a source of income independent of the shlichus. In other words, they got the green light. I guess if you're asking, then go ahead. But for a guy like Reb Zusha, it's the work and there's nothing else. Have a wonderful day. Good Yom Tov. Today we finished the Tanya. Tonight's Yutis Kislev. Tomorrow, of course, the Fabrengen in Shul, right after davening. And Fabrengen might say Shabbos on Zoom. And then afterwards, when the Zoom is over, for those who want, will come here to MTC. I don't expect more than 25 people, and if there is, they'll go upstairs. We'll continue the Fabrengen here. That's the program. Mol Haaretz Fabrengens. Have a wonderful day.
Shabbos. Have a good day.
Huh?